Hey guys, so I had an idea. I wanted to figure out what was the oldest trucking company in the United States that still exists. I had an idea that it was a company here in Pennsylvania. And I was right about that, but it was actually the wrong company. I was off by 1 year. We'll tell you what that company is too. But this company started with a horse and a carriage and may have been the first company to ever utilize owner operators. But that's in a much different way than somebody that owned a truck. But we'll get to that. The company I'm talking about is Jones Motor Group, and we'll talk all about them. All right, so as I said before, the first company in the United States that is still in existence was Jones Motor Company. It was actually Jones Motoring Group. Yeah. Interesting. So it was John Jones that started it in 1894. The company that I thought was the oldest company, I thought was going to be Mawson and Mawson, a company out of Langhorne, Pennsylvania. And they actually started in 1895. But in 1894, it was John Jones that started. Jones Motoring. He was an immigrant from Wales and started right in Spring City, Pennsylvania. They actually didn't buy their first truck, though, until 1912. They started with one horse and a cart. And basically what they did was most freight at that time moved by railroad, but it only moved to the big cities, or big cities that had train stations. What Jones' idea was is he would go, take it from there to the less populated areas, and so that's what they did. Now, here's the interesting thing. It said he expanded. He started with a horse and a cart. But it says that he expanded by signing on other people with horses and carts. So is this actually the first owner-operators, in America? Like, did they sign a lease to the company and John Jones took a small percentage of it, or a percentage of it while these guys were out running? Everything I'm seeing says that yes, these were the first owner operators. The first owner operator was a horse and a cart, and that's pretty cool that this whole idea of owner operator businesses started back then. So John Jones was later joined by his three sons, William, Clifford, and Russell. And at that point, they renamed the company John Jones and Sons. The company stayed like that until 1925, and that's when John Jones died. And his sons got sole ownership of the business. And when they did that, they changed it to Jones Motor Company, which is actually a name that still holds today, kind of. It's actually Jones Motor Group now, but that's like the mother company for Jones Motor Transport. Yeah, pretty interesting. The company continued to grow through the 1940s, 1950s, and it was sold in 1968 to a company out of New York City called Allegheny Corporation. And it was sold for $51 million in 1968. A company that started with a horse and a cart was sold for $58 million. That's yeah. I like that kind of growth right there. So, actually, just like so many other companies during this time of regulation, or the Motor Carrier Act, they were buying up other companies, starting different businesses, and basically buying their lanes, going here and there. They expanded to Western Pennsylvania, and then eventually, expanded pretty much nationwide. Not totally, but pretty much. But in 1980, when deregulation came along, they decided to change their whole business model and switch over to an owner-operator only company, which It's pretty interesting. I know a little bit about Jones because I'm leased to Landstar, and Jones, much like there's other companies, Mercer has a similar, um, a similar business model, and apparently Jones does too, where they use private agents, they use owner operators. Jones also continued to buy many small companies through that time. Uh, yeah, they added other companies to what they have, and when they sold again later, I'll tell you, they had 4 companies. But Jones Motor Company was still the core of the business, and still is today. Um, yeah. So here's the other thing that they were the first to ever do. So I'm pretty sure they had the first owner operator with a horse and carriage, but they also, hot shots weren't a big thing in the '80s. They were coming around. I gotta believe the pickup trucks didn't have the power at the time. Maybe they did. I don't know. Let me know. But like when did they start using diesel engines in pickups? I probably should have looked that up before I did this. But you had big, small blocks, even big blocks, but not very efficient for hot shotting. And in the '80s, it says when hot shots started to become a big thing, they started Hot Shot Express, which they still own today. They have over 250 Hot Shot owner operators. So yeah, I'd seen Hot Shot Express. I did not realize that it was part of Jones, even though Jones is only Spring City is only about an hour and 15 minutes from where I live here in Marietta, Pennsylvania. So it's pretty cool to learn that this company was so close to me, and is the oldest company. So actually, in June of 2016, Jones Motor Group was purchased by a Pittsburgh portfolio company called Transport Investments Incorporated. Now they're a company owned by a bigger company, but I thought it was interesting that they are called Transport Investments Incorporated. That means that pretty much that's all that they invest in. And I did look them up. They do own a couple other companies that I'm familiar with. American Transport out of Pittsburgh, and then they also have American Transport Wind, which I assume obviously is hauling big windmills. But there's a couple other smaller companies I've heard of that is in their portfolio. But it says that they bought it for an undisclosed price, but it does say that the company was doing $100 million a year. And it says that this transport investment actually overall does $350 million a year now in revenue. At the time of that purchase in 2016, Jones Motor Group owned Jones Motor Company, again, the original company, their core carrier, Hot Shot Express, Jones Express, which I couldn't actually figure out what Jones Express was exactly, and Jones Motor Logistics. And usually when something says Motor Logistics or something like that, I would imagine that's a brokerage that takes over, everything they couldn't handle, up until then. But that's about all that I have. As of now, it must have been a good investment for them because Transport Investments still owns them, as I said, along with a bunch of other companies. And they are still the oldest company in the United States. They do still own property in Spring City. So I had said earlier that I thought Mawson & Mawson was the first, and Mawson & Mawson is still in business. And it's definitely going to be a story here in the future. I'm looking forward to it. Company I know a bit about, but kind of has a lot of the same similar business model. I believe Mawson & Mawson was only ever owned by 2 different families. I believe. I only started doing the research for this video, so that'll be done in a bit. Hey guys, I got a few notes. Steve Spriggs, if you are watching this, so Steve Spriggs was the winner of the boots that I did a while back, and I still haven't heard from you. I tried to get a hold of you a couple times, so my email address is down here. Anybody who wants to get a hold of me can use this email address. But Steve, please email me here so I can put you in touch with Brunt Boots and get you that pair of boots that you want. You deserve them, especially going into winter now. So yeah, please take care of that and send me that email so I can connect you. And for everybody else, guys, I appreciate this like everything else. Sorry, I've been absent a little bit about talking about the the trucking companies. I was doing a little bit of road shots and stuff like that, but now I'm back to this. In fact, the next thing I'm doing, because I just started doing it, I'd said before I was doing Smith pretty soon. I'm still gathering information on that. I think that's going to be a pretty big video, so I'm still gathering up a bit of information on that. But the next one is going to be a pretty cool old company, Preston. Preston, the 151 line, and that's what I'm going to be doing next. I got a lot of information on that, and you'll see that here within the next couple of days. So again, guys, as always, I appreciate it. Please comment. I read every comment. I try to respond to everyone. Sometimes I get a little bit behind, especially when I'm on the road, but I do eventually try to get back to everybody, or at least read every comment. And I appreciate it. If you like this video or any other ones, please like and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next one.